Hey everybody, Ryan here with Ray's Latest, and today we're going to talk about the new renderings of the stadium that was just released at the new proposed Hillsborough College campus, as well as the World Baseball Classic rosters were just released for every country. So we'll kind of dive into what Rays are on which different countries' rosters, and then some notable ones from around the league as well. And then I want to kind of talk about just briefly what do we need from Gavin Lux at second base and kind of what can we get from him that's going to correlate to what we had previously lost. But first, I want to talk about these new stadium renderings. They look fantastic. I mean, every rendering that we've seen for a new stadium in Tampa, though, has looked pretty good, in my opinion. I think this one, though, the stadium design, the correlation with it to a ray, it it has that perfect dynamic of it looks like a stingray, it looks like a sun ray, it looks like every type of ray that you could possibly imagine and kind of put into one. And I think it looks fantastic. And I added some pictures here for you. So I love the way it just looks with the glass roof at the top. So it's still enclosed, which you have to have an enclosed stadium in Florida in my opinion, just based on not even the rain, it's just too hot in mid-August in Tampa Bay. So I think having the indoor is obviously it was a no-brainer that was going to be part of the case anyways. And I think that with the glass roof, I can't tell. I'm assuming it's going to be retractable to a certain extent, like kind of like Seattle's is, or kind of like Toronto's is, where you can kind of have, or even the Astros, where you can kind of have it half open, block the sun and stuff like that. But the way it just looks fantastic. The surrounding area with all the big buildings with the campus and things of that nature, it looks great. And I think that kind of just the outside looking in, it kind of resembles a little bit of Amalie Arena for the Lightning, it it kind of has that nice entrance look to it, and I kind of hope, which I'm assuming they probably will, kind of around the Lightning Arena as well, where they have the big TVs outside and they have the bands playing and kind of like the fan zones right outside the entrances, which kind of just brings to the whole, not necessarily tailgating aspect of it, but it's kind of a tailgating aspect in that sense to where people are gathered around outside. They're partying, they're drinking, they're having a good time, getting ready for the game, listening to music, eating food, having drinks, and it's a good fan experience because people don't want to just come to games anymore to just go watch a game. I'm 100% sure that there is a few that do that, and I wouldn't mind doing that personally. But just from my experience with other people, they don't go to watch baseball games to just go watch baseball games, in my opinion. They go for, and it's like football. You don't go to just watch a football game. You go to tailgate. You go to have some drinks beforehand, play cornhole in the parking lot, throw the football, and things of that nature. And I think having that whole fan experience incorporated into everything is a fantastic look for the Rays. And these renderings really do kind of bring that to me to where it looks great. And I'm kind of really excited to see how that all unfolds. And if it does kind of come to fruition, which I think at this point, I think we're kind of looking, it's more of just a funding issue, which is arguably the biggest problem. But I think that if they can kind of get this funding issue set in stone and figured out, I think it shouldn't be a problem for the Rays to find their home there in the Hillsborough area. Next, I'll talk about the World Baseball Classic rosters were released. The Rays that are on the rosters for Team USA, Griffin Jacks, and Clevenger are playing on Team USA. Aranda is playing on Team Mexico. Uceta is playing, as well as Junior Caminero is playing for Team DR. So I'm excited for those guys. We're gonna see kind of, they've obviously probably had that early ramp up period, especially the pitchers, where you start throwing a little earlier than normal because you do get to where you have the spring training and things of that nature. Yes, you are ramping up for that. Obviously, pitchers and catchers report a day or like 3 or 4 days earlier than position players, and then the games start the following week for big league camp. But for the World Baseball Classic, it's a little more, I would say, strenuous in just what situation you're playing in. And I think from that aspect of it, just having being ramped up a little earlier to kind of be full 100% go when it comes time to it. Because at the end of the day, you're not playing the White Sox on a Tuesday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon for just practice at that point. You're playing Japan to win a tournament for your country and win a World Cup pretty much for baseball in for your country. So it's more strenuous and it's more there's more on the line when you're pitching, especially in the World Baseball Classic than spring training. So that's one thing I like to keep an eye out on is just kind of how pitchers react and how their bodies react to having to throw so early at such a high level. And I think we saw that with Otani as well here recently. Is he's pitching the World Baseball Classic, he's going all out. It's March, and then he ends up tearing his UCL that season. So it's like you see guys like that, the big name guys, where they're going out of their way, not necessarily out of their way, but they're not playing for their major league team anymore. They're not playing for the team that pays them their contract. They're playing for their country, which arguably means more to a lot of these guys, I would say. And so there's a lot more on the line for them when it comes to a health standpoint. And so I just like to keep an eye out on especially injuries with arm related issues for pitchers in the World Baseball Classic. But I am really excited for all of our guys playing in it. I think they're going to do well. I think Rosarino when he was playing in it for Team Mexico as well was fantastic. Aranda's going to do the same. Caminero is going to do the same. Uceta, Clevenger, Jacks, they're all going to do the same. So I'm really pumped for these guys. I think it's going to be fantastic for them, and I'm sure they're really excited to kind of get things going. That starts up here the next month. So I'm excited to see kind of how Team USA does, and then I'm also excited to see how our guys do as well. And the next thing I want to talk about is just briefly, what do we need from Gavin Lux? And you lose Brandon Lau, you lose your franchise second baseman who's been here since the beginning of his career. He's a Tampa guy, loves Tampa, was a great power hitter at second base, which is really hard to find these days outside of the past Robinson Canoes and players of that nature. So I think it's pretty crucial that Gavin Lux performs at a level to where he doesn't need to hit 30 home runs. He doesn't need to hit 25 home runs. He just needs to produce to a level to where it's consistent as being a line drive contact slash hard exit velocity hitting second baseman. What I mean by that is he doesn't need to hit a boatload of home runs to be successful. I think that he just needs to be able to hit gap to gap, get on base, and be able to kind of position himself in a way to where if there's RBI opportunities, he just succeeds at the highest clip possible at scoring runs, whether that's long sack flies, whether that's line drives in the gap, whether that's line drives in the five hole and the four hole, up the middle. I think just from his perspective, just being able to kind of transition from what he was doing in Cincinnati to Tampa is crucial to the success of how this infield and this lineup is going to go. Because when you have Aranda and you have Caminero in your lineup and Diaz as well, it kind of you kind of have the power guys in there. Those guys are gonna get you 70 plus RBIs a year. Those guys are going to be fantastic bat to ball hitters, hit for power. And if you can get on base for those guys, and if those guys are on second and third base and just sack fly, ground ball to the other side, things of that nature to just produce runs and be able to produce runs at a high level is going to be crucial for this offense, and especially with Lux in it as our primary second baseman. I think that him just being able to step up into that role and kind of mold the top to the bottom of that lineup is going to be the biggest thing for me. But you guys let me know what you guys think about the new stadium reveal as well as what you do also think about Gavin Lux and what you would like from him. And you guys have a great weekend.